Right, we'll crack on there now because you might never start if we leave you here talking for too long.
Sorry. Okay, we will start. Okay. So welcome to the Laura and Benny Show. I'm very excited today because we actually get to talk to fellow photographers. We've got Justina and Janusz from, is it Janusz T Photography?
It's Janusz.
Oh, sorry, Janusz.
almost right. Janusz.
Janusz.
Okay.
Janusz. Okay.
That's perfect.
I say you get called everything under the
I've been
sun.
calling you Janusz for years.
Everybody knows that.
Everyone does?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's really nice because we have lots of similarities. We're a husband and wife photography team. You're also a husband and wife photography team. And we actually only really get to chat very little in person because we'll organise a lunch and we'll have lunch together. But other than that, it's all through Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because we get to chat to the venues and the photographers and the hairdressers and the makeup artists, but the photographers never get to hang out. Although you're better at socialising than I am.
No, I'm always hide behind the camera, maybe a little bit, but not much.
But you're good with you kind of do but the kind of the groups or the associations and bits and pieces sometimes, do you? Yeah. So you actually get to see other photographers and.
Yeah, at least I try. I try going for some convention, for some seminars or workshops, or something like that, just to get know with everybody.
Yeah, well, that's more and more thing than I do.
Yeah. Living on Instagram.
Living on Instagram, chatting to people.
You
were going to cut me off. Go on, yeah.
You're going to let me, are you?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was hard to get this even started. Like, I think if we hadn't have started, or I encouraged you to start, it would have just been photography stories forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
But I think there's so many things that we're the same, but then there's so many things that make us different as photographers. And that's okay. And it's like, so when people are searching for something different, like they can still get the husband and wife team or the partnership and they still get different photographs. But like your big pull is kind of like, you love the portraits, you love the big iconic shot, you love the night shot.
I love that.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about that. Even in the rain, you're like, we're getting the shot.
Like, there are different type of photographers. We all kind of different from each other. But what's kind of stands out from our point of view that we love to do kind of creative night shots in the evening time when we can take the couple out and they will chill out a bit and then we can prepare some shot and those kind of creative shots when we use the flash and creative lighting, maybe put some colors around and just to make a scene look completely different than the couple see it during taking the picture.
Yeah,
that's what we like,
And they really do stand out. I mean, like whatever the situation is, like you say, it's like it could be like everybody knows that hotel, but then when you see your photograph, now it's super interesting.
Yes.
Like it's something a bit extra. And I suppose like having the skill with the off-camera flash, and like it's so easy to make a mistake with off-camera flash. And you can blow it too hard, but you seem to have a nice balance of light. You understand the light very well.
Yeah, that came up with a lots of practice. You have to make a practice, and it's not like that it's happening in 5 minutes time. You need a little bit more time, but for that. I just asked Justina to come out.
Yeah,
with
she's
the
test model.
He's like that, he's cold and he's doing this constantly and I'm standing there, you finish, it's cold, can I go there and grab them, You're ready for this, it's like...
So your couple appreciate the sacrifice that you make.
My sacrifice. They don't know that, but I was standing like 10 or 15 minutes in their place.
Just to get the lighting right.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it maybe take 5 to 10 minutes get the lighting right, but then we just ask the couple to come out just for 3 minutes to stand, pose for us, and that's it. And they were released to reception, mingle with guests, have their own time. So it doesn't take a huge amount of time on it.
And it is fun for the couple because I mean it's like you say, they're a little bit more relaxed. They've had their dinner, maybe a few extra drinks. All the formalities are done, and it's nice to come outside and have a bit of fun. And have quiet time with themselves.
Yeah, sometimes they want to do the sparkles. Sometimes we give them like bottle of champagne. We have like cheap champagne, in the car with us, and give them bottle.
Do you bring champagne?
Yeah, we have kind of zero second.
Alcoholic, cheap.
I was going to say, if you were stopped on the way home, the guards would be searching your car, being like, cameras, champagne, what's happening here?
But we have few in the car for
emergency.
Emergency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic, don't waste the good
alcoholic,
stuff.
like, because,
Yeah, so if the day doesn't work out so well, you're like, it's okay, I have champagne.
yeah, but it's always fun, you know. They even, you know, like just give them that, you know, and they have fun with this, and it's cool photos later on.
Yeah, and I think it's something that you're right in saying that. It's something the couple, especially when you're, you know, they're doing the photo and they kind of have half an idea. They think they have half an idea of what the photograph's going to look like, and then when they actually see it, they're like,
Oh,
wow, is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. But that's so nice, especially when you actually, because some people look at photographs and we'd find the same as well. Say another couple that's getting married in the future, they'd send you a photograph, or someone would say, oh my goodness, where is this? And then you tell them where it is and they're like, really?
No, they won't believe it. They won't believe.
Especially the photo in the rain, like, you know, the rain looks like the stars around the
does.
couple, and they
yeah.
don't know how that's
I know.
happening. And they're
It's a little bit of
surprised,
magic,
like,
isn't it?
So
Yeah,
who does
yeah.
the convincing about going out in the rain? Do you make...
Okay, it's usually like Janusz prepared the shot, and
Okay.
I go to the couple, you know.
He
and
makes
ask-
you go...
I said, no,
Politely, they won't
that's
go
your time.
outside.
Bring them. You can do it.
You can do it. I have faith in you.
Yeah, that's something like this.
She goes in soaking wet from standing out in the test shot going, I promise it's not that bad. Yeah.
Most of the time that's not like this.
But it's like, it can be very, for the couple, it can be, if they give you that brief moment,
Yeah.
like you get something special.
Yeah.
And it's to be aware of that. And I suppose there's two things. My brain's going in two directions, but I have to mention it. I think this is how we bumped into Janusz and Justina, wasn't it?
Oh, it was actually. You were outside doing a night
Yeah.
time shot.
Yeah.
You were getting ready, and Laura was bringing me to the wrong hotel.
Now, I just want to put it out there. I wasn't going to the wrong hotel for the wedding. The wedding was over. I had been in Dingle. You were in Killarney.
Yes.
I was sleeping in Killarney,
Yeah.
and I thought I booked one hotel, and I booked it. I don't know what.
But
I
it
did.
was a bit of serendipity because I think
Yeah.
your personality came across because you glanced at us and you were kind of like, oh, and then it was like, but you wanted to say hello. And it's like
I
you
know
are
Laura
perfect.
from-
Yeah.
You both, but
You are from Instagram.
Laura from Instagram.
Yeah.
And I said, Janusz, just
that's-
Laura.
That's the
And
famous.
you went out, and when you go out, you know, like
It was very funny, yeah, because
Yeah.
we went in and then we're coming back out and we're kind of like whatever.
Wrong
And,
hotel.
and I was surprised too why you walk out, you know, like when you.
I know, but it's fine. It was fine. We got to meet you. Maybe that was the reason I went to the wrong
There you go.
hotel, so I could bump into you and we could.
But we did, but we then because we had a nice conversation. You were super friendly, and then we were kind of like we went back and said we must check and kind of and have a look at it. And we liked your photography. And one thing we will say is your color is correct and it's good. It comes across very well, and the quality of the image. And I suppose as a photographer, the first thing you must be able to do is have a quality product and give them the quality photo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming a lot with the editing and the whole workflow of the wedding that we're doing. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, then the extra nice bit is that you are personable and you have a bit of character, and it's nice in that way. And I have to remember where else I was going to go.
Oh, well, there was a different path.
It was a
Did you
different
forget?
path. I was getting
Did you
so
forget?
excited about hanging you for going to the wrong hotel.
Tell everybody that I went to the wrong hotel. Thanks, Benny. Thanks very much. But I think it's nice for people as well is, and obviously it doesn't have to be but for us, the fact that there's a female and a male, we find on a wedding day has so much benefits, because I think having a girl around, just having that, like, you know, nothing against the lads, but having a woman's eye, like
Sure.
it is totally different. We see things that, you know,
they don't.
they're not good. They simply don't. You're right. I try to be nice about it. You're like, they don't. But it is,
it's
and
true.
even just kind of, there's moments on a day where I think people feel a little bit like if there is a bride, that the bride does feel a little bit more comfortable that there's a female in the room with them, kind of thing. That I'm a very honest person, so if someone says to me, does this look right? And if it doesn't, I will say, no, let's fix it.
Okay, yeah.
You're not going to go, yeah, you look lovely, you look lovely. But you're probably the same, that you'd help them.
You
Yeah.
help them, you help yourself, like, you know,
Yeah.
if it truly looks
True.
bad, you know, and
Yes.
you show her photos later on,
She's not going to be happy. Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't do it to your
Yeah.
friend. You wouldn't let your friends
Yeah,
do
and the
something.
same, like, you know, I go to her, I fix, like, you know,
Yes.
piece of
Yeah.
hair or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
because I want her to look perfect, you know, 'cause
Exactly.
that's what she wants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
having like 4 sets of eyes on a wedding
Exactly.
day as
Yeah.
well helps with all those little details. And if I say did miss something, Benny will give me a nudge and go, that's not right. So I'll be like, okay, let's just take a second and fix kind of thing.
We're doing this to
Yeah.
each other. Same
Yeah,
way.
it works
Yeah.
really, really well. But then for the lads as well, having a male around that you can kind of have a bit of fun with, have a bit
Man
of
jokes.
man joke.
And that's probably something that stands out because you were kind of like you were one of our COVID saviors. I
Yes,
think
you
when
did.
we had to cancel 2 weddings of all of COVID, and we were so glad it was
We were
only
lucky
2.
with-
But
Yeah.
but what, you covered one, and I think it was like Emma and
Emma
Andy.
Andy, Emma and Andy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay, you all have
I'm
really good
telling
memory.
So, but the great thing about that was lad jokes was so we did his brother's wedding, and the lads were fun. I remember the lads being
Yeah, they
fun, and we
was,
were looking forward to having it. But I saw some of the photographs, and you got the lads to have fun, or just you allowed the lads to be themselves and to joke. And I suppose that's probably something that while you're
Yeah,
still
no.
getting the portraits, it's okay to have fun and be yourself.
It was so cool, you know. Like like it's a little bit different because Laura is with the bride and
Yeah.
you are with the groom,
Yeah.
and I was with the lads. I always go to the groom to get ready.
Okay,
to
okay.
photograph.
So
get
do
ready.
you do the other way around? Do you
Yes,
go
Yes.
to the
yes,
you go
like
to the
yes,
bride?
that's
Oh,
supposed to.
that
There
because
are
you
differences.
know that, like,
I like
you know.
it.
Sorry, so that makes sense. So when I'm talking about the lads, so I saw the lads joking, I think it was in the forest or something like that. But you
Yeah.
spent the morning with the boys, so
Yes,
the boys
I
were
said,
were
yeah.
being boys in the
Yeah,
morning.
there was exactly, it was like they he had some how did the shoes called?
Oh, the Converse.
Crocs.
Yeah, he
Crocs, yeah, and
Yeah.
they put on his ears, you know, for some fun and
Yeah,
all morning.
That sounds right.
fun,
Yeah.
That sounds like Andy and Mark. Yeah.
It was so fun. It was a
Yeah.
great wedding.
Because we actually we bumped into them at a different wedding again after you had done their wedding, and they were really, really happy. They were so happy.
They were really happy.
Good
Yeah.
to hear
Yeah,
that.
they
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
They were so thankful.
We
that
received from them very nice, thank you cards with,
Oh,
with the pictures
lovely.
with some wishes. That was very,
Yeah,
very,
that-
very
that
Do
nice.
you know, they actually they sent us a thank you card as well
Oh,
They should.
with your
With your photos.
yes.
to thank us. And like no, this is genuine. I have it inside
Yeah.
to thank us for recommending you, because it could have been like we could have just said, listen,
No help.
Yeah.
we have COVID, we can't come. Sorry. The
Yeah.
end.
No,
But
that's
we
not-
organised
not-
another
that's
husband and
not the
wife
way
team.
we work.
No,
you know.
it's
Yeah,
not.
We
No,
never
no.
leave the couple. So.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I think
exactly.
that there's many things. One thing I want to mention before that, but there is many things in terms of your personality that you're not going to just leave people to hang, or you appreciate the party. But as well, from that wedding before, I forget it was, there was a lovely photograph in the forest, and again, you used the light very well, whereby there was a tree, and they were kind of shaped and framed in the tree, and then there's dark parts of the photograph as well as the light coming through.
Yeah.
So you're very aware of natural light as well
Yes.
as the off-camera
Yeah,
light.
and actually, we weren't sure what they want. Actually, they
Okay.
bring us to the Kilkenny Castle, and we actually accept to have some photographs in the castle. You know,
Yeah,
the castle.
Yes.
But they were completely opposite. They would like to have some nature pictures with
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
At this first talk with them before the wedding, they explain us that they want to go. There is some special tree.
Yes.
They found the tree.
Yeah.
They want to go there. They
Okay,
want to
that's
have
so
pictures
cool.
over here. And we said, that's nice. We want something different than the other
Yeah.
couple. And we went there and that's it. We work
We-
how they want it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's like
it's
that. I
important.
suppose they put the effort into researching or communicating what they like, and talking to yourselves. You kind of like that when the couple are kind of interested, think of ideas, maybe share their ideas. Like that. That's important for photography, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
that's-
is. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Look how polite they
Oh,
are.
I'm
Look how
telling you,
polite.
yeah.
We just talk over
we
each
just-
other.
yeah. But it is important, yeah.
Exactly, because as much as they are gonna say to us, I will explain what they need, what they thought, what they like, what kind of pictures, what kind of style, then we can match their expectation.
Yeah.
If we can match their expectation, we will meet their expectation, and they're gonna be happy.
Yeah, and you appreciate what they want, or more important, what they don't want. So there's nothing like if you just have your head down and you're just doing, and you're not listening or you're not seeing what they like that's important as well. Yeah.
That's important. Like we always say to the couple that from the moment they hear us, so guys, we work for you. You
Okay.
know, we wanna make your vision come true. You
Yeah.
know? I'm not gonna ask the couple to pose or do something that is completely mine. That if they're gonna look in 5 years' time on the wedding album and they're gonna wonder,
Cringe.
why you did that? You know?
Why I did that?
No, that's completely not our style, not us. We want to work for the couple, you know.
Yeah.
It's so true though, because it's kind of like, I think the biggest mistake wedding photographers can make is to go into every wedding and just do the same pose at
Yeah.
the same places with the same background, and
Or
it's kind of
repetition.
but it's kind of like, so one couple could be so happy with that place and those poses,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow's couple, oh God, no, don't ask me
That's
to
not,
do that.
that's not completely for them.
It's not for them, yeah. Because there's some people, they just want to go to, say, an Irish bar, and they want to get in
Yeah.
behind, and they want to pull pints, and they want to, have a bit of fun that way, and you might get them to step outside for a photo, you might not. And then there's other days they want to go off, they'll drive half an hour to some beautiful cliffside or something, because that's what they love.
Yeah.
But that makes it interesting for us,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's the same wedding every weekend. I love when someone says to me, I want to do something, and I'm like, oh, I've never done that. Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that's completely something different
Yeah.
than we used to have.
Yeah, it's a challenge, isn't it? Yeah. And it gets us kind of creative, and it kind of allows us to be a bit artistic. And I come away from days like that, and I'm like, I'm all excited to go back out and do another wedding, because it's true though, because you went and you did something new, somewhere different, and
Yeah,
they
and I suppose
were
that's
for a
one
bit
thing.
of
So
fun.
sometimes
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, you've done my venue, so you'll be okay." But I always
Yeah.
say, if you're a photographer, you could walk in anywhere and take a photograph or spot an angle or see something. But you're not frightened. I suppose the way to say that, communicate to people, is kind of like, you're not frightened of a new idea or a new suggestion.
Exactly.
You like this,
Yeah. And even for yourself, you need go to the same venue and do different photos.
Yes.
Because like when you have like 6 or 7 weddings in that hotel, or even
Yeah.
more during
Yes.
the year,
Correct.
and you see you doing the same stuff, like you
That's
sick
it.
of that, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you want to do something
Yeah.
new for your portfolio, for you
Yeah,
know.
or even
Exactly.
the energy. If you try
Exactly.
if you try repeat the same photograph 5 times, the energy's not the same
Yeah.
all the time.
No.
So it's like the little bit of magic, or the communication, or the joke with the lads, or getting the girls to have a bit of fun, is like, it's always different, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And I love to work in new hotel. Even I don't
Yes.
know that hotel. I'm a little bit scared what will happen if I don't know that place. But it's something new. It's something
That's true.
exciting.
Yeah.
You can find something.
Yeah. But I
nice
think
there.
people saying to you, like, have you, like, if their first question to you is, if they're trying to base a decision on whether they're going to book you, is, have you done my venue? It's not a good, like, base to base your decision
That's
off.
fair enough, yeah.
Because a lot of the time we only spend from, say, 4:30 in the evening to the dancing at the venue,
Yeah.
and we've done most of the work before in houses, at churches, in
Exactly.
gardens, on cliffs, and then we see the venue for a drink reception, maybe a couple of after nighttime
Yeah.
shots and some dancing.
Exactly.
Other days you might spend the whole day there, but then some people, you might have been there at Christmas, but you haven't been there in the summer. And again, you might as not never have been to the venue, because it's completely different.
Yeah.
Different light, different decorations, different weather, everything's different. But it makes it interesting for us to do it that way. But I suppose we're kind of skipping on to like
We're skipping on.
dancing and venues and all that.
Yeah.
But you mentioned, so do you mostly cover the full day when it comes to like morning to the dancing, or how do you work your packages?
Like package-wise, right now we have only package
Full day.
Full day. Yeah, we're the same. Yeah, I find the dancing finishes off the day
right.
very, very well. It's kind of
Yeah, I suppose, like I
Yeah.
always say, I don't show up unless we're doing the full day.
Especially when Janusz love to do that evening shots,
Yes.
that extra shots. It's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
good. It's like
What happens in July? Is he out at 11 o'clock at night?
Blocking out the sun.
yeah, okay. Mostly we do some, but
Sometimes,
sometimes we do some few photos after, like half hour after, for instance, when we finish, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
we spoke with a couple, okay, we can maybe
Okay.
grab you for some photos, evening
Yeah.
shots.
But for the night shots, you don't need to have a complete
It doesn't need to be
darkness,
pitch
you know?
black, yeah.
It doesn't need to be pitch black.
Okay.
It's enough you have blue sky. Blue hour, that's the time to go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really prefer to go there at blue hour, because you have then a kind of sky looks really blue.
Yeah.
The kind of starry night
Yeah.
looks
And to
Yeah.
say
kind
that
of
to people is,
magical on the
you're not
picture.
frightened of a silhouette. Some people would never kind of put the couple completely in shadow, but I've seen some good
Yeah.
silhouettes and
Yeah.
kind of, like you say, an interesting sky. It's setting, it's the blue hour, it's the golden hour. It's interesting. So
Because
you,
that's not all the photos from the wedding. Like if you
Yeah.
give them one or two like that, they will
It's something
appreciate.
different.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's a little bit different. Than
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So you start in the morning. You switch it up. I do
Yeah.
bride, Benny does groom,
Yeah.
but you're doing
I-
groom
I'm-
and you're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Always, yeah.
And that start because Janusz started taking photos first, you know, he was
Okay.
the
Yeah.
main photographer, I was just, you know, second shooter.
Okay.
And we said, okay, I will go to the groom maybe for the start when I will be
Sure.
better, we maybe swap.
Yeah.
But after a few months here, I said, no, I prefer to go to the lads.
You like
It's
hanging out with the
nice.
lads.
You know,
It's a much easier morning.
yes,
It is an
it
easier
is.
morning.
Okay, it is.
Yeah.
But not every time. Sometimes it's like, you know, they whole morning relax and do, you know, nothing. And
Yeah.
last few minutes they rushing, you
Correct,
know,
Yes.
yeah.
they're late.
Yeah.
And you stress out because you don't have family photos done yet.
Yeah.
You don't have portrait of the groom
Yeah.
yet.
Nothing.
And they have to leave like 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And, you
But
know,
it's fine.
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fun, you know,
Yeah.
but you know, it's not like you think going to the groom is really easy compared to
Yeah.
going to the bride. It's
Yeah,
different.
that's
Yeah.
true. And then the bride is the opposite. Like we've got such a schedule when it comes to hair and makeup
Yeah.
and trying to get all the like even the before they get dressed, all of those photos and
The
do you know,
girls,
yeah.
the girls act completely different.
Yeah.
They were used to the pictures. They accept to have some pictures. The
Yes.
guys, they are completely opposite. Justina, I would say Justina have harder task, more difficult task than I getting pictures done because
Yes.
the girls basically know what to want.
That's
Yes,
it. That's
correct.
it. And a lot of the time, it's the bride has told the groom, the photographer's
Coming
coming.
to your house.
Behave
yeah.
yourself.
Exactly.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. And I suppose to help kind of people in the morning, so we always talk about the leave time before
Yeah.
the church. How much time do you like before they leave? Do you have a specific kind of
So hair and makeup
window that you like?
finishing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Like 2 weeks before the wedding, we used to have we always have a meeting with our
Yes.
couples, kind of pre-wedding meeting that we go through the draft of the timeline that
Yes.
I prepared for them, you
Mhm.
know, because I would like to have, you know, help the brides to plan the day, that
I do the
they
same,
are
yeah.
completely aware
Yeah.
about where the time gone.
Yes, yeah.
How's
Because
that
time
gonna
does
look?
not
Yeah.
exist on a wedding day.
No.
No.
And in my opinion, the best would be to start dressing up, you know, just let's say 1 hour before
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
gonna leave their home
Yes.
or room.
Not
for the
before the ceremony
ceremony.
start time. Yes.
Yeah, the travel time you have to allow for
Yeah.
travel time.
Yeah.
But the 1 hour, it's just so it's not always rush.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of time to take your time if you're emotional and everything like that, and then they still get the chances to go through the stages before the leave time.
But a lot of time there's like, so once the hair and makeup, you know, once the hair and makeup is finished, there's actually quite a bit that happens between that finishing and before the bride starts to get dressed. A lot of time there's gifts for bridesmaids.
Yes.
They probably have matching, you know, pajamas and
Yeah,
gowns.
it's happened. It's happened.
They want to
often.
do champagne in the morning.
Yeah.
Of
They
course.
want to do, you know, there could be kids around that they want to get photographs with. There's
Yeah, the
all
family
these-
photos, the family needs
all
to
these
know about
bits.
the pictures,
Yeah.
all those bits that sometimes bride forget or even don't count
yes.
on the morning preparation. And when they heard that from me that I'm gonna be starting from their house, let's say 2.5 hours before
Yes.
I'm gonna leave the ceremony, sometimes
Yeah.
they surprised. Why 2.5 hours? I just easy them that I don't want to take pictures, you know, to the whole 2.5 hours. When I came to your house,
Yeah.
coffee, tea, just get easy.
Have my
you know,
breakfast ready. You know,
That's
Yeah, it's like be personable, say hello.
yeah.
say hello,
Yeah.
meet family, meet friends,
Yes.
you know, make friends because that make our days easy.
Big
Yeah.
time.
And starting from really from detail shots,
Yeah.
Yep.
And they take time.
they take
do,
time
they
to compose,
Yeah.
to take some pictures of the dress, shoes,
Yeah.
Yes.
some jewelry, rings, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they are kind of ready for the picture, when they have makeup and the
Yes.
hair, when they feel more secure,
Yes.
now's the
Yeah.
time for, you know, popping up champagne,
Yeah.
toast, have some fun.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not fair to ask a bride or a bridesmaid to come into a more staged photograph and everybody has makeup on and one girl doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just not very nice for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you need to give people confidence, as you
Yeah.
said, in front of a camera so that you're their friend rather than their enemy, that
Yeah,
you're that
of
person
course.
that made them take that photo that morning. But no, it's very true. And then we would, when we get to the ceremony, then we obviously are back together, but we're doing two different angles. How do you approach the ceremony side of things?
And it's the same, like,
Same,
you know, we
yeah.
back together in the church or in the hotel, you know, I
Yeah.
go with the lads to the hotel or to the church and
Sure. Sure.
wait for Janusz there, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can get the details on the ceremony space and all those bits
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
pieces,
do.
which is
Yeah,
nice to
yeah,
split up
I
that
do
way.
before.
There's no rush.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then throughout the ceremony, like we find that having two photographers again is just got so much benefits because you always know that there's two angles at least covered, so that
Exactly.
if a priest decides or a celibate decides to set something up completely differently to
Yeah.
what we're all used to,
Which
and now suddenly they've got their back to you and you're in a corner, you're going,
Yeah.
what do I do in this moment? Do I try and get out of the corner? But at least you don't have to like really, like obviously it's not nice, but you know that your partner has
Yeah, we
also has
secure
an
each
angle.
other.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's something that you're not
Yeah.
missing anything. So
But it's
I find
nice to have
great.
two angles, isn't it? Whether it's speeches or whatever part of the day, if something happens and you can throw the eyes because you know I can't get there that quick.
You're closer.
And-
get
and
it.
it's like-
yeah.
It's nice to have two people,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And when you have even the bride and the bride coming to the aisle, and there could be one photographer on the top of the aisle, and second photographer could be at the back.
We do
Even
that.
if there is a
Yeah.
balcony, there is nice
always
view
go
from
there.
the.
It's beautiful.
From the
Yeah.
In that situation, Justina going to the back or to the balcony
Exactly.
and shoot the way. Or if there is no need for that, we both standing at the altar shooting. One on
Yeah.
just get the reaction of the grooms
Yes.
and groom, and on other eye just get the, let's say, children walking down the aisle.
Exactly.
Reaction
Yeah.
of the parents, bride walking with the dad. That's
Yeah, it is lovely, and like sometimes being at the door has so much benefits as well.
Yeah.
Like obviously the iconic photograph everybody's looking for is the groom is in the in the
Yeah.
left hand
Yeah.
side of the frame and the
bride
bride
is
is coming up
coming,
the
yeah.
aisle. That's the one everyone thinks of.
Sometimes they want photo from the back of
They
their
do,
dress,
big
walking with the
dresses
that,
and-
and I just
yeah.
go from the back,
Yeah.
and she's standing on the front, and he has to
Exactly.
cover both that angles, the groom and the
Yeah.
bride, but I have the back, or I go to the balcony, and that's lovely shots as well,
Yeah, and I find as well like that there can be really beautiful moments at the door before the bride just kind of comes into view. That those nervous moments
Yeah.
with your mom or with your dad or whoever's walking up the aisle.
Or a
and-
kid.
Or a child or something really
Yeah.
yeah.
But
It's
if
true though,
something
these are
if
the
something
things that
happens,
you wouldn't get if you
Yeah.
were only at the top.
Yeah.
You're going to miss that nervous moment or that emotional moment where you catch those pictures sometimes and you could never ask somebody to perform these moments.
never.
It's it's when they both look at each other and they both just have that little moment that there's no one else
Yeah.
around.
You can't
Those
repeat, you
fo-
can't
no,
perform.
ever,
You just need to be
Never.
there.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It really is, and that's what we love about weddings as well. Is obviously we all get the family photographs and the portraits and everything, but it's those moments that we haven't set up, but we were there and ready to get kind of.
Yeah,
thing,
and
that
I suppose
makes the
that's one thing
difference.
I'd like to get across for yourselves is I know you love the portrait shots, and if people go to your website, they kind of see the epic photographs.
Yeah.
But it's like you're still shooting the whole day.
Of
I
course.
mean, you have the same problem I do, and Laura has the same problem as Janusz. Is the shot count is a problem?
Oh
isn't it?
yeah,
Is-
the shock
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
shock
the
out
shock
is
out is
probably-
worse than
Yeah,
my shock out.
so we
Every
won't
year is
mention a number because people might go, oh my. But you take the shot. You don't miss opportunities,
Yeah.
or you're not switching off. I mean, you're interested in the day. You're interested in the wedding.
Yeah.
You're looking for those moments. You're going to,
Yeah,
if the moment happens.
I prefer overshoot than not overshoot.
And our
okay?
style is like mix everything, We have some portraits, like you said, classic
Yeah.
photos, family photos, but
Yeah.
we love candids because
Yeah.
everyone loves candids,
They do.
Yeah.
And the night shots as well are our favorite. But during the day we do a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah.
And even like we were casually saying, it's a tiny logistical thing, but like in the drinks reception, someone stays in the drinks reception, someone goes to the ballroom and gets the objects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas, but by yourself, it's so hard to be a solo photographer because you have to get so many things and you have to communicate so many things. But it's a nice thing like that whereby you can go and get the decorations in the ballroom and you can still stay in the drinks reception.
That's right, especially when it's short time at the reception.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you not always have 1 hour at the reception or 1.5 hour of
Yep.
the reception. Sometimes it's happened. You came late because the matter of the day, and you
Yep.
have to split. You have to split, and one of us, as you said, taking detail shots. One of us taking
Yeah.
the guest
Yeah.
reception, or sometimes we even split, get half of the reception, just that's your part of the,
Yeah,
of
the
the
shoulder, half
room,
the room.
half,
Yeah.
that's mine.
That's
not
nice,
repeat
yeah.
ourselves, just get everybody as
Yeah.
much as possible.
That's true, yeah.
And I suppose it's something we could do a whole podcast on
I have
timing.
done a whole
on
podcast on
And
timing.
Laura's like, we need to talk about timing. But it is something, I suppose, it was one thing that you're kind of like saying for the summer, it's like the summer's coming up, spring, summer, it's going to be really busy. We're all going into lots of weddings. So if there's one thing you'd like to talk about, it's timing. And we have a wedding coming up, and the couple wouldn't mind us talking about it. But it's just like the way their late church happened, the way the venue want to call the bell, the window is now tight between we still want photographs, we still want reception, and then it's like, but we want more reception, can we do photos quick? But it's a balance, and it's one you appreciate that people want to go to the party, but then also you appreciate that it's time to get photographs.
Yeah,
It's so tricky, isn't it, when it comes to the summer?
Yeah, it's very tricky, especially if you have a late ceremony.
Yeah. And this is what happens, because I think everyone, you think of the winter and everyone goes into a little bit of a panic about winter light. Are we going to have enough time with the light? And you're kind of going, well, you will if you have an early enough ceremony, and we will make it work. Unless you're getting married at 3 o'clock, then you're going to be okay for the light.
And
You're
don't
fine
forget
for the
about
light.
the greetings.
Yeah, the receiving line. But But in the summer, I think people don't, it's so automatically, because the days are longer and it's brighter, and I find that it could just be ourselves, but I find that we do more church weddings in the winter, and we seem to do more hotel weddings in the summer.
That's true.
And then a lot of the hotel weddings, it'll be kind of anything between 2:30 and 3:30 could be the time the ceremony starts at. And then the bell call for dinner can be, say, 5:30. So if you're having a 3 o'clock wedding and you're having a 5:30 bell call and you want to do everything in that 2.5 hours, this is where we will make anything work for you.
You need to be a Superman.
You need to be Superman. You do.
Janusz has made friends. Banshee is back.
Sorry, Banshee.
Banshee always has
We
a
got
low.
this far.
She crashes into every podcast. She has to get on camera.
Sometimes it's less than 2.5 hours. Like I know some hotel which ceremony is always at 3, and she is not at 3 in the door of the room.
Yes.
She's 3:15. And the ball is like 5:15. You have like 2 hours for everything, for ceremony.
Such a small window,
For family photos, for day photos, for reception, for taking photos of the ballroom.
And the thing about it is, I think it's kind of a case of I'd hate to anybody to listen to it and be like, oh well, that's my wedding. That's how my wedding is timed. And I'm not saying that it can't work. Like, we're professionals and we do this every week. So any situation you put to us, we will think of solutions.
Yes.
But it's kind of a case of, I think you really need to, if you are having a small window or you're having a shorter day where your ceremony's late and your bell call might be a little bit earlier, is get in contact with your photographer sooner rather than later, so that they can give you a couple of tips on, okay, so this is the way it is, so that we can change the ceremony start time. If your venue are sticking with that's the bell call, we can change that. So what can we do to save time? Can you skip the receiving line?
That's the first
exactly. Because depending on your numbers, I mean, if you have, say, 250 people going to your wedding,
it's half hour.
It could be half hour.
Yeah,
Totally right.
The easiest way to count the receiving line time is like 10 minutes per 100 guests. That's
a
average.
good way of doing it. There you
you
go.
worked it
There's
out.
a
You've
trick
got the
there
mathematics.
now. Make sure that's in the notes now.
There's an equation. We'll be like scientists working out equations.
90% of our couples, they don't count that time,
It's so easy to forget.
In church time, like they don't know even, they need to spend like 20 minutes for this.
And it's not as easy as shake everybody's hand and getting into a car. It takes time to get into a car. It takes time to stop talking and get into a car. It's natural that, but I suppose what we'd like to make people aware is to be aware of the time and to be aware of the kind of the challenge of giving the window for the photographs. So how long, if you had a normal photograph, if there's no major time constraint, what type of time do you need for the photo shoot, say with the bridal party and the couple, maybe if you're going to a park or something?
Altogether with the bridal party and the bride and groom, we just need the max 45 minutes.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
But in majority of the weddings, we work with 30 minutes.
Yeah, which is moving quick, but at the same time, I think for us, I think what it is a lot of the time, say you're going somewhere and you and I know that this is a great place for photos. This is always really good spot for photos. So we have like all these ideas running around in our head. but we've also got the watch on the other hand, and you're kind of going, you know, you've done loads, and there's beautiful photographs there for them, but you had 2 or 3 other ideas, and you're like, oh, we don't have time. I would have loved to have done these 2 or 3 more. Now, it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, I think for us, because we're very creative people, we're like, the weather was good, the light was good, the venue was good. You're like, oh, if I only had 15 more minutes.
Yes, you know, sometimes I might ask couple, you know, just give me 2 more minutes.
Yeah, 2 more minutes.
There's one more spot
One
here,
more photo.
one more spot there. One, just really promise you, the last time, and we gone.
We're like that.
that's
He
not
kills
even-
me.
but-
He's
but-
like,
but that's-
Laura.
Yeah. But just like on the way out, we're just gonna do this. But it's like that when we were talking about the night shot. If you just give me that moment, you'd be surprised what that one photograph is, and just the different background or the different position.
Yeah.
It helps so much, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's really.
And I suppose on the subject of timing and kind of like little tricks to save time, obviously the receiving line, we both thought of that first, and I like your maths equation of 10 minutes, 100 people, that's very good. But I suppose, and then there's some days where it's so tight that you kind of have to suggest to somebody, well, what would you think about maybe doing a first look? Like, do you ever do first looks? Do you ever do pre-ceremony shoots, or how would you work it?
Yes, we did that, and we're doing that more often in the winter time.
Yeah. Because of the daylight.
Because of the daylight, you need to save the time, and it's really great tip for saving the time.
Yeah, huge.
Because you can save, let's say, 40 minutes from the bride and groom and bridal party photo shoot, and they do the photo shoot before the ceremony.
Yeah.
Because
Big time,
everybody will dress already.
Yeah.
So
it is great, and like I think it's funny because it's been around for such a long time. The whole idea of doing a first look and a pre-ceremony shoot, but it's for Irish couples though. There's still very few people that are willing to do it.
yes,
Like we probably do maybe 10
Or-
out of 8 in the whole
or to put it
year would
another
be
way is
loads.
we've suggested it, and the couple are aware of the of the time window, and they're like, no, it's okay. We only want to see each other in the ceremony, and that's kind of like they like the
okay.
tradition, they like that, and everybody's different, and it's like, but yeah, in Ireland it's kind of like we like the structure of the big party.
Yes.
Also the couple like keep tradition and things, you know, like, you know, like
And I think it depends on the location, and it depends on a few things.
To figure out this, I have a kind of pre-wedding questionnaire that I sent to the
Cool.
couple, like 2 months before the wedding. That
Sure.
I need to get some information from them, the final information.
Yeah.
So there is a question: do you want to do the first look?
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're gonna say to me yes, no, or I need advice on that.
Yeah.
Then I know what they accept, how
Yeah.
to construct the timeline.
And if they say I need advice, they might say yes.
You like a good first look,
But but on that subject though, and I'm not pushing first looks or anything,
No.
because I totally understand that everybody wants to have their wedding day in their own way, and if they imagine seeing their partner for the first time on an aisle walk, please do it that way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it that way, but there's so many benefits. So you're saving time. You're giving your photographer that extra bit of window where we're going to get all the shots that we actually have planned in our head, rather than 70% of them because we ran out of time, kind of thing. Or and a lot of the time, no matter how much you time a day, and we would be very good at timing days because we see all the things that can happen and all the what this could happen. So let's give a bit of time just in case.
It's really
kind of
the
thing.
timing. It is in our interest.
It
because
is, exactly,
If that is
yeah.
gonna be late, who's gonna blame? Who's gonna be blamed? Photographer.
Always the photographer's
Not videographers.
fault. No, the videographer gets away with it.
he's quiet in the corner.
It's always the photographer's fault. But even though we're really good at timing things, there's some things just happen on a wedding day, and it's out of everybody's control. For some reason, the ceremony starts late, out of everyone's control. Like somebody had to go and do a job, and they said, I'll be 5 minutes, and they come back 20 minutes later, out of my control. So at least if you're doing a first look, usually it just runs on time. You meet, they do the first look, you get the photographs, and you kind of go on away. And a lot of people have concerns about, they say, going back to the receiving line, they be talking about, well, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do it because I'm afraid of all the makeup marks on the suit, or I'm wearing a white sleeve on my dress and I don't want to get dirty, or I don't want my makeup to be, on one side of my face or not the other side of my face for the photos. And again, like another benefit to doing it is you're so fresh. You've literally just gotten out of the hair and makeup chair.
You're
Just
kind of
put
at your
dress
best
on.
of the day, yeah.
The groom has just put his suit on. He's perfectly clean and tidy. and it's
Everything
done.
is perfect.
Everything
Yeah.
is perfect. So it like there is so much benefit.
And it's not so strange.
Yeah, no.
Like in terms of when you do it both ways, it's not like so strange to
Yeah.
do the photographs beforehand.
Yeah, and that
No.
relieves their stress as well, you know, when they see each
100%.
other
Yeah.
before the ceremony, they feel
Yeah.
much better, you know, later
Yeah.
on, and it's not that
Yeah.
stressful.
I think I've never had a couple come back to me and say I regret doing a first look. They
Never.
always come back
Yeah,
and
they're-
say the other way.
yeah.
They go, I don't know why more people don't do it this way. I had the longest drinks reception. I love my photos. My day was lovely. Thank you for suggesting it, kind of thing. Yeah. But it's true though. Yeah.
But it's really kind of personal things, you know, because
Yeah.
some couple might want to do this. Some
Yeah.
couple just, you know,
Mm.
through whole life they have the bride have kind of in their dreams, in imagination, the way that she look, how she walked to the aisle,
Yeah.
and the groom waiting for her, and she wanna
Yeah.
live it
that way, yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, and that's great. If you know what you want, stick to what you want.
Yeah,
But I think there's, and I say like social media is a great one for like you see these people posting up these pictures from weddings, and you're kind of going, what's going on in this photo? And then there's a bit of description to it. Like we had one recently where we did a first look with them. They did their photo shoot before the ceremony, and then her parents, 30 years ago, they walked up the aisle together and got married. So she wanted to do the same for her wedding. So because they'd done the first look and seen each other, they walked in and up the ceremony
It's
together.
very normal in Poland.
That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
so
Yeah, yeah.
unusual in Ireland.
Polish couple, like we
Yeah.
did the same, you know, Polish couple walk together to the
Yeah.
church.
That's
Yeah.
nice. I like that.
Yeah,
And
the
we had
groom-
2 grooms recently did a first look in
yeah,
their
the
photo
groom
shoots.
is
They
coming
walked
to
in
the
together.
bride house
Yeah.
Yeah, because the congregation or all the guests, the response is kind of it's different when the couple walk in. It's like they're happy for both people.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not just oh wow the bride's lovely in a dress.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's a celebration. It's like
Yeah.
they're here,
Yeah,
and it's
true.
there's a big atmosphere or there's a buzz. There's a bit of magic in the room, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
it's good.
it's very true, yeah.
And then getting geeky. We're gonna get geeky.
Oh, we're going
now.
to get
Yeah,
geek. Will we
geeky.
leave them
Oh
to
yeah,
it
yeah,
when we
yeah,
go
yeah.
for lunch?
But like the great thing I suppose with having 2 photographers is you've got extra places to put cameras. So it's like hold this. But you like a good prime lens, Janusz, don't you?
Yeah, I like prime lenses because they are better quality. They are sharp. They are
Yeah.
razor sharp. I like sharpness on the
Lovely.
pictures. And they create a really nice depth of field, the kind of blurry backgrounds that
Yep.
couple love to do this kind of much separation between the couple and the background.
Yeah,
It's almost
yeah.
3D.
Dreamy.
Yeah, almost 3D.
Yeah, it's like really, yeah.
And I used to work with kind of 2 cameras, 2 lenses, just
Sure.
to be more versatile.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just to switch when every moment I want from one lens to another.
Yeah.
So I, for example, have one wide angle lens, 35 millimeters, and portrait lens, 85, which is almost like a zoom.
Yes.
Yep.
Not exactly the zoom,
Yeah.
but I can make it.
Oh, you've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
the
yeah,
oh,
yeah, she's back,
Banshee
she's
likes a good
back.
85.
She likes you. Yeah. Good girl.
Good girl.
But it does make a difference to be able to like carry those. I know some people say to us, why do you have so many cameras? And you're kind of going, all of them are doing different things. Like
Exactly.
no 2 cameras are doing the same thing. Everything from as you said, like a long lens to a wide lens. And we won't get too techy because
Yeah.
we'll lose everybody.
No,
on
no,
the
no, no,
podcast.
no,
They
we
won't
won't.
know what
No.
we're talking about.
But the
Yeah.
85 portrait, it's beautiful,
It's
isn't
It's
it?
beautiful.
Yeah.
And the lights, you don't need so much light. You can go to, let's say, darker places.
Correct.
Yes.
Work better
Like
with the
bars.
daylight
Yeah.
instead of using the flash.
And have you gone to the dark side of mirrorless?
Don't mention the shock counts. Don't mention the shock
counts.
counts. But Justina, you're more on. I think my style is you love the 2470 and the
Yeah,
7200,
it
the same, the big
Because
guy.
it's safe, you know, when you
Yeah.
don't have much space to move back,
Yeah.
you know, especially in the room.
Yeah.
You know, you can zoom in, zoom out, you know, and
Yeah.
you don't have to run to your bag and change.
Yeah, yeah.
the-
Oh, it's
like-
lovely when
Yeah.
when those moments are happening. It's great you have 2 photographers, but sometimes you're like, my eye needs to be there, so you can just go with the 200 right over
Yeah.
and get it,
Yeah.
isn't
Because
it?
sometimes, you know, you don't have space to move
Yeah.
back and you have a big group, you know, or just it starts from 2 people.
I
You
know.
know,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
when you take a picture of the 2 of us,
Yeah,
and
and
you
then we
go
use-
over, and then they go all over 20 other people, and you're like, I've got
Yeah.
nowhere else to back up to.
Exactly. And then you sometimes, you know, 50 in a reception or
Sure.
something. There's also like moment when they have to say them, I can't do it like that.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I have to
yeah.
go change my
I need a
lens.
lens.
And I
Yeah, yeah.
prefer right now just have that, you know,
Yeah.
different lens, different zoom, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do everything like what
Yeah.
I want.
And even shooting at the photo shoot,
Sure.
even if we could shoot the couple with the same direction,
Two different
standing
lenses.
beside each other with two different
Yeah.
sets of lenses,
Totally
we
different
get
photo.
completely different results.
Big time,
On
yeah,
the
yeah.
Yeah.
same position,
Yeah,
same
Yeah.
and
direction.
we're very lucky in that way that we can get so many photographs, probably a little bit quicker, because
Yeah.
we've so many options, and again, different eyes spotting different things.
Yeah.
That
It's true though,
Yeah.
because like I mean, I think a lot of time the feedback we get from couples is, you know, you go and do the photo shoot and things might seem like you're doing things quickly because you are, you're moving
Yeah.
on as fast as you can for people. But then when you send them the photographs afterwards, they're like, I don't remember.
The moment.
I remember
Yeah.
50% of these because I
Yeah.
knew that Janusz was taking these, but where did the other 50% come
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
Because I didn't realize what you were
or,
doing.
or getting extra close, and they
Yeah,
can't understand that
yeah.
you got a nice reaction,
Yeah.
or the way they had a little glint at each other
Yeah.
in the eyes looked special. Isn't it nice when you kind of capture those moments?
And you know, like Janusz is doing like sometimes walking and stuff like this, you know, the
Yes.
couple walking
Yes.
and I go up, you know, the
Up a
different-
tree. Yeah, yeah. Like, where is Betty?
not that high, but you know.
But it's nice that it allows you to go find
Yeah.
a completely different place or a different angle. Isn't that nice?
It is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you're very good. I mean, like in terms of like, we briefly spoke of your kind of photography journey and kind of being in the photo community and everything like that. But you're very good. Again, it talks to your personality. You're giving back to the community. You don't mind sharing your information
Yeah.
or your experience that you see so much on the weddings.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind really because right now I'm just try give back what I receive from the community.
Yeah.
When we start photography, we signed up to local Malo Camera Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 9-10 years ago,
Okay.
More,
And
I think 12.
maybe more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
I was pure amateur.
Yes.
So I was there to ask the question, to learn,
Yep.
to gain some experience. And while I'm progress to the camera club, and get more experience in the photography, now I can give it back. Now I'm here to help.
Yeah, and I think people who love photography and love techie side of it, they like sharing information. We like talking about photography. We like talking about the lenses, and you can see it. You lit up about the lenses, and you're talking about the sharpness and stuff like that. It's nice as well to kind of. It's a good community, isn't it? And it's nice to
It
give
is.
back. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
we are busy right now with the weddings, you
Yeah.
know, we try at least few times per year, just go there, you know, just meet
Yeah.
these people
It is
again,
nice.
you know, they're really nice people, and you know, you have experience, you can see something different because they don't do only the weddings, they not doing the weddings, they do
Yes.
portraits, they do landscape, but that's you can use as well for the wedding,
yeah.
like you know, you have seen nice landscapes. And you can ask where that play is, you know, and you
Yes,
can go
exactly.
show
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
You gotta-
It's
you gotta
nice
get the
sharing the
sneaky
spot.
spot.
And then the big question is, in business,
Oh God.
husband and wife, how are you still together? How are you still married?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
You know, it is okay. Okay, yeah, that's
okay.
more like okay. No,
It's okay to have an argument in this room, and then in this room, the argument is gone.
No, we have our fights
Yeah.
about
of course,
some
because we're
details.
completely different, like you know.
But if you didn't fight at all, like we fight, you have to fight.
Yeah.
If you don't fight, it's weird. Like
Yeah.
you live together, you're married, you work together, you run a business together. If everything was perfect all the time,
Yeah.
it'd be a bit strange.
But people ask us how you can do it this like all the time together because we go
Yep.
for the weddings, we go for holidays, just both of us, you know, all the time we are together, like each single day, you know.
It's true. Your time off is together.
Yeah, before at the beginning, so we almost edit together. I did my part of the wedding. She did her part of the wedding.
Yeah.
Right now, I
Yeah.
mostly edit myself.
Can
Just
you
kind
do
of
no
move
editing. You
around.
won't let you do it.
No, I let him do it because it was too much fighting, you know.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's like one photograph. We will
Yeah.
if we got one photograph and four of us edited it, we
Oh,
would
it
all
would
have
look
four.
different.
We would
Yeah.
have 8 different photographs.
Why is that so cold? Why this color is like this? You know, that skin doesn't
Yeah.
look good. You know, and this is my complaints all the time. And said, okay, you can do it yourself. I'm happy what you produce now.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all coming out. We have a control freak.
Yeah. And now having Justina on my side, that give me completely different point of view, kind
Yeah.
of woman's
Yes.
point of view on the photographs.
Yes.
Yeah.
The women's can kind of focus on details,
Yeah.
on
Correct.
technical point of
Yep.
the pictures. Pictures might be perfect, but she might spot, she might tell me, is she really looks
What about
good?
this? Yeah,
Or
yeah.
is she will be happy from that picture?
There's a fine
Yeah.
line between
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm
that
having
one
loads
beside
of fun
another
to,
one is much better.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's true. That's
know.
true.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one
yeah,
is
yeah.
better.
And it's to have an open mind, because it's so easy to have an opinion. I always say, like, whether it's music, film, or photographs, and particularly if you produce something, if you make something,
Yeah.
you can be defensive, and you can kind of take it personally, that it's like, if someone says to you, what about this? And you're like, no, I'm right. It's so hard to, but it is nice when someone shows you a different angle,
Yeah.
and then you see
know,
something.
as well, like Janusz just always complain, like my photos are not perfectly straight from camera, because his one are, you know, why is the angle like this, you know, and it's like,
it's all coming out.
Okay,
It's all
we
coming
train each other.
Yeah.
Right now I focus more on that, you know, because he told me don't do it this, don't do it this, do like that, you know.
Yeah,
Better,
yeah.
because I have to later on straight that photo, you know. And my one
Perfection.
is perfect, your one is not.
Yeah. You can fix it in post editing.
Yeah, that's my answer. I fix it all the time, like.
Yeah, she got the shot, and that's what matters. Okay.
That's most important.
Whereas Janusz wants to go outside for 10 minutes and
Yeah, exactly.
to practice before he brings the couple out. I mean, he should just bring the couple out and go.
It's like that, you know, for him it's more like, you know, technical stuff,
Yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
I focus
Oh,
you know, on the moment, you know. Moment happened, I have
Yeah.
to catch that moment, you know, I don't care. It's
I
a
know,
little
I know.
bit, you know.
Well, there
Yeah.
is some moments in the day you're kind of going like you just have to be so quick because the moment's going to go, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're better to have something that you
Yeah.
can do in the post editing
Yeah.
than not get it at
Yeah,
all.
and
kind
even
of thing,
catch
so.
the moments between. you
Yeah,
have to.
exactly. And with the editing side of things, then how far is your lead time after the weddings? Do you give people like a sneak peek? Do you give them an idea of when the photographs are going to be ready, or how do you work that side of things?
I think it's pretty short, or even it's in the industry standard. So right now we deliver pictures between 4 to 6 weeks
That is
after
quick.
the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when in the peak time, you know, during the summer, we have lots of weddings.
Yeah.
Could be like 7 weeks, you know.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
only
yeah.
adding on 1 week. I'm sure that'd be
Yeah.
okay with that.
That's it.
But you've set yourself like a nice target
Yeah.
that you think the couples would like.
Yeah, basically the weddings needs to be delivered so quick,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Because I think that's like we always laugh about Laura. Is like, I wonder what I look like. But people everything is kind of so instant now that people kind of want to see quickly, or they are interested in seeing. They wonder and they want to see.
Yeah, they won't see some.
I wonder what the nighttime photographs was like, and then it's not 1 year later when they're kind of like, oh, remember the 1 year later with the nighttime photograph.
Yeah.
So that's nice, isn't it? And I suppose it's hard to process, like in the summer when you're maybe doing 2 weddings at the weekend, every weekend,
Yeah.
and then you've so much your shot count.
Yeah,
It's a big problem with the
it's
shot
hard,
count.
but it's a matter of, you know, experience and a good kind of workflow, you know.
Yeah.
And pushing ourselves to
Yeah.
do the job. Nobody do the job for us, you know.
Yes.
You have to, when you're self-employed, you have to push yourself.
Yeah.
Big time.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think the thing to remember as well for people is like, and you can sometimes have little previews and stuff a couple of weeks afterwards, and a photo or two here they might
Yeah.
get to see. But I mean, to edit things to the standard that you guys edit to, because like, you know, your stuff is I absolutely love your photographs. That's this way here.
Well, I'll tell you now, Laura. Like
No,
they're
no.
going to put AI into the cameras, right? And the
Oh,
camera
no.
is going to
It's never
just
gonna be
take
good
the
enough.
photograph, make sure it's straight.
No,
You don't have to practice the nighttime shot. The AI is just going to go,
No,
I know what it is.
no.
Put the
It'll never be-
put the off-camera flash
Not in
over
our
there,
lifetime, Benny,
and then
not in
and
our
then
lifetime.
when you take the photo, it's just going to be magic.
No.
And it's
no,
gonna go
no.
straight in onto
I
this
think
slideshow.
AI is not so far yet.
No. But I mean, like for the I think for the amount of time and like we're so particular. I know you're the same when it comes to what we give people afterwards. The time needs to be given as well to the edit. That, like, you know, you'd love to give it to them a week later, but realistically, like, this is done to professional standards, so everything needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
And when we do deliver those, you know, those full galleries, and there's hundreds of photographs there from the entire day for people to look at. I got a DM the last day from someone, and they took a selfie, and they had been looking through the photographs, and they were both crying. Looking at it in a good way. They weren't crying for it.
I can't believe you did that to me.
They were good. no. But they were both
Justina
genuinely
promised you wouldn't
crying
do that to me.
looking at them. But it's kind of like, to give someone like something that of this standard, the
Yeah.
time and the effort that goes into it, I don't think anybody can ever really kind of understand it unless you were to do it, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
But so to do something in 4 to like we're 6 weeks is what we do ours in, so it's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 to 6 weeks it's actually by the time the wedding comes around, they go on honeymoon, they come back, the photos are ready.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically,
Mostly, yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
just 1 week before I deliver to them a final gallery, I prepared
Yes.
for them kind of slideshow,
Okay.
kind
Lovely.
of
Yeah.
sneak peek slideshow.
Nice.
That they
Nice.
gonna see kind of preview highlights, pictures,
them
what they
excited.
gonna
Yeah,
get them
music,
excited,
you
what
know.
they gonna have, what they gonna see in a week time.
Oh,
Cool.
okay, I like that.
So
yeah.
so first the slideshow, then another week.
Okay.
Amazing.
You build it up.
Gallery.
Yeah.
And do they get an
Yes.
app? Do they get a link online? How does it work?
They get the slideshow is sent to them to the online gallery,
Cool.
Brilliant. Yeah,
and they can download the slideshow. They can share with the family.
sure.
So the week after they receive the link to their private gallery, password protected gallery,
Nice.
which can they can share with the family. They can
Brilliant.
download the pictures for themselves,
Yeah.
and in the next few weeks they receive the final USB.
Okay.
It's customized box with their name, the
Oh,
pictures on
lovely.
top of it. Sometimes we deliver straight like in 4 to 6 weeks
Sure.
after. Sometimes longer together with the wedding albums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
when the couple have a package with the wedding albums, we printed together the weddings album and the USB.
Oh, lovely. Okay, that
That's
makes
Yeah,
sense.
customized
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, get it all
Yeah,
together.
I think
yeah,
we
it's
were
nice.
chatting about
yeah.
this, and Laura, you were saying as well. People are far more going to physical products now, aren't they?
Did you,
Yeah,
have
like-
you noticed that? It
Yes.
kind of there was a bit of a not like, but there was a time there where it was everything was digital. And
Yeah,
Just
like
digital,
some
yeah.
people
5,
still
6
doing
years
this.
ago, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now
Yeah.
the trends are going. I will
Back
just
to
see
printed.
back to printed.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you were seeing a high percentage of maybe a percentage that straight up, and I suppose everybody has those couples who
Yeah.
I want the album and I want that one, and then
Yeah,
and then later
exactly.
on it's kind of like then it's still a high percentage that
Yeah,
are
I
coming
think
in.
like for now we have like 30% packages already sold, booked
Yeah.
with the albums in
Yeah.
the day of the signing of the contract, and another 30% decide,
After.
let's say after the wedding
Yeah,
or
yeah.
close to the wedding.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I find a lot of people do that, and we put people at ease because some people they've so much to do planning a wedding, and then they're kind of
Yeah.
looking at the photography packages, and they've booked you, and they know you're coming to do the wedding, but then they can't decide what album and which package
know,
should I
and
go for. They don't really
Sometimes
have to,
book
do they?
us
They can
through-
upgrade.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Sometimes
There
they
you go.
book us through internet, online, and they
Sure.
don't
Correct.
see the album. But
Yes.
like
Yeah.
week or two before the wedding, when we met them,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
showing them album,
Okay.
and that is the moment. Oh, they say,
Oh, I want
okay,
that.
Yeah, yeah,
I want that. I definitely want that,
And it's
That makes
lovely,
sense.
isn't it? Like we all love photographs, and I love looking at your photographs. They're really nice, but then when you see them printed,
Yeah,
it's,
that's
di-
the
it's
different
different,
thing.
isn't
It's
it?
That's
like for
completely
me,
different.
that is the photo when you print that, when
Yeah.
you put it on your wall, or when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
Print the album, not just digital photo in your phone.
It's not all for
Exactly.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everyone prefer to see some physical product.
Yeah, big time.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. Holding, whether it's holding an album or holding even the frame or even the printout, the slip,
Yeah.
it's like it's special, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's kind of even a wow factor when you put the album in front of the couple
Yeah.
and just flip through the pages, and there's a wow about the size that they never see this kind of size
Yeah.
of the prints.
Yes,
Yeah.
in a book. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
big.
Especially
Yeah.
our book is big, is like 45,
Ours is
30.
very- the biggest
yeah.
one.
And when
It's
you always
almost
like
Atlas.
1 meter, like, exactly, and some photos, when you put like for whole page, 1 or 2 photos, that is wow
Yeah.
effect.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the moment.
And there's so many options, isn't there? There's
Yeah.
so many different types of books. If people like different covers, and then there's so many different colors, isn't there? So
Our
many
album
options.
is personalized, I always do the project
Okay.
of the album, and
Okay.
they see the project before it's sending to the
Nice.
We do
printer,
the same,
and
yeah.
they can, choose everything, like their cover, what they want on the
Yeah.
front, that
Yeah.
kind of.
You must have the same problem. Some couples, it's so hard to pick the photographs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sometimes we
couple,
wait.
I think 5 years.
4 years, my
Yeah, we
oldest.
still
Yeah.
5
waiting
years
for
from
them.
now. And
So
we still
if you're listening, you
Yeah.
know who you are.
exactly.
Send us your
Once picked up,
photos.
but then
But
do
to be
you,
funny, we
Yeah.
did their album for ourselves because we love the photos and we want to show
Yeah.
it to
Oh,
Okay.
indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, we have their garden, but they don't.
That's beautiful. I like that. But it's hard to get the number of photographs down, isn't it?
so hard.
So when they're talking to them, they're like, okay, I picked 300, and they're like, we
That's
can't
too
put
many.
300 in the
No,
one.
no, like-
It's tricky, isn't it?
You know, the biggest complaint of the couples over pictures that they have
It's so much nice one, and
Yeah.
they have problem to pick which one they want in the album, you know.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest mistake people make in wedding albums, and I find is some people say to me, "Look, I've gotten it to 200, and I just can't get any lower. Can you put this?" I'm like, "Well, I can if I add extra pages, and that's no problem."
Yeah.
But then you look through what they've sent you,
Mm-hmm.
and you
And
go,
it's
"Do you see these
repetition.
5 photos here?
The
That's
same one.
That happened in 5 seconds. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's,
the same
it's
photo.
difficult
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
not flag it or not to pick
Yeah.
it. It's difficult to let it go.
Yeah.
Like we had
yeah.
the same situation nearly 2 weeks ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
last
A
one,
bride
yeah.
from December, when she sent me a notice that she finished final selection for the album. I look at the selection and I just realized there is like 90 pictures, but there are some more repetition, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
asked Justina what we should do. I don't know, maybe I do the phone call and said that I'm gonna say to her that, you know, there's
Yeah.
some repetition. You can consider between this or this one, but get rid of those one
Yeah,
and take
yeah.
the pictures that
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe are missing, you know, from the
Exactly,
another
yeah,
moment
yeah.
instead of putting the
Yeah.
similar.
But it's a nice compliment to
It
you,
is.
I think, because
They're all
like
too
like
nice.
if they've 5 photographs that we see as being similar, but it's nice that you caught it in 5 different
Yeah.
ways that they're like, I
Yeah.
like those all
Yeah,
all the ways.
And
Yeah.
sometimes they like that moment, they love that moment,
Yeah.
they have very good
Yeah.
feeling about that moment, and for the reason they pick, you know,
Yeah.
from exactly moment,
Yeah.
you know.
I think you've got to remember, even though it doesn't go in the album, it doesn't disappear. It still exists.
Yeah.
You could always, print it out and put it in a frame somewhere else,
Yeah.
or you could use it differently. But
Yeah.
it is hard to kind of be
If
like,
you
yeah.
give the photograph a love heart, it will forgive you.
It would
Unflag it and love heart.
I love it. Yes, that's true.
But I suppose as photographers, you're as busy as we are, and probably so many photographers. But Irish people are mad for weddings, but it must be difficult. Are you seeing bookings 1 year out, 2 years out, longer? If somebody really, really wants you, are you kind of seeing, how's next year? Like we're in the start of
Like,
24.
Right now,
Yeah.
we would say for this year,
Yep.
99% booked. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Some
a
random
really
date.
lottery
Yeah,
if-
yeah.
For the
Yes.
couples, if
Maybe
they,
Thursdays are
if they hit the correct date in
Yep.
this year. For
Yeah.
the next year, right now we have like 50% of capacity booked
Yep.
Wow.
already.
Yeah.
For the
Summer,
26th,
Yeah,
around 10 to 20%.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
The busy dates go early, don't they?
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
August
bank
holidays.
holidays,
Holidays.
summertime, August
Yeah.
bank holidays. That's
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
As Laura says, you get asked for the same date 20 times.
yeah.
If we only could just put 20 people at the same time.
But it's important, like if people have been following you on Instagram, or if they look at your photographs now and they're like, yeah, I love those. Sometimes you have to be in early to get the booking. Yeah,
Don't,
yeah.
don't hesitate, you know.
Especially summertime, like year and a half, you know, that's it.
Yeah, Yeah, and as you said, like you might get very strangely lucky that this Friday, for some reason, is still there this year.
Yeah.
But but you have to be that lucky Friday,
Yeah.
and it might not happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I suppose, as we have to prioritize what means something to you on your wedding day. So some people, it's their flowers; other people, it's their band, and then, but for a lot of people, it is their photographs is one of the main things that they get excited for.
Yeah.
So they can share them and show them to the world.
Yeah, big time. And then just random things that are coming to mind is, again, to put people at ease. If they're looking at you, they're seeing the portrait photographs, like family photographs, you do different combinations and you cover that all off. So some photographers, they might just go one photograph and hey, it's done.
Okay, for us, the family photos are very important. We know how important they are, especially if it's like children there or older people, you know, and we always do the family photos. If couple want, like if they don't, that's okay, but you know, that's mostly 99%.
Actually, never happened.
But maybe sometimes, you know, some couple want like more photos, like
there's some couples say to us, we don't want family photographs, and then on the day it's like, oh, can we just do this and this and this, and we're like, we're doing the family photographs, so it's funny, but it's so important, even though it's kind of like people are kind of like, it's.
Oh goodness, is she choking? Oh God, she's eating something.
You
She's
done?
fine. She's fine.
But family photographs are so important. So even like if people don't want to spend as much time doing family photographs, or they kind of feel like it's so many rotations, it's nice to get different combinations, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it doesn't take a long time.
Yeah.
We need like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
10 to 15 minutes
Nice.
to get that right and very quick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Usually we're doing the family photographs after the ceremony,
Yep.
Exactly.
even at the church ground,
Yeah.
Yeah.
outside or
Yep.
indoor.
Yeah.
Outside, preferably.
Always
better for
daylight.
everybody.
Yeah.
Always in the daylight.
Yeah.
You know, exception if there's windy or
Sure.
rainy or cold. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid, as I said before, I know the flash photography, so I'm not afraid get into the church.
Of course.
Actually, I like it more going into the church because there is no wind, it's
Yeah.
cozy, warm.
The
Yes.
sun isn't coming in and
I
out.
can flash out the orangey light out of the
true.
picture.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody looks great. There's great
Yeah.
skin.
Come on, Bachi. Go on.
Good girl.
There's great skin tonality on the pictures
Correct.
because of the correct using the flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I said, we need 10 minutes. So
Well, that's
It's
it.
immediate
And
family.
it's being organised as well.
Yeah,
It's
but-
beforehand
have to
telling
be
the
organized,
family.
like they
be
have
here.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're there in front
Yeah,
of us,
just
we can do
happen
it so
to-
quick. Yeah.
One thing myself and Janusz having problems is
What is?
we're in the 5 a.m. club.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
too?
yeah, me
Oh.
too. I don't do
Okay.
sleeping. But Janusz is a little bit better than me. He goes for jogs.
Will you get up to go for a jog at 5 a.m.?
the real 5 a.m. is 20, 20, 20.
Yeah.
But
So
it-
you get up at 5 a.m. and go for a run?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Even-
Every
Every
single
Even
day.
before the
Every
weddings.
day?
Yes, even when it's raining.
Let's
you know,
say
like-
5 days a week.
Okay,
Okay.
maybe
I,
I'll sleep
I
on
would
that
I wouldn't say that I'm perfect, if
You
if I have a wedding, it's really difficult because I need to save the time for
Yeah.
number of steps that we're doing at the wedding. Okay,
Yeah.
but at Sunday, that's okay. Sunday we're on, that's okay.
Yeah, after wedding, I'm like, I'm
I-
sleeping and he's.
I went to Pilates at 9:30 this morning and I thought I was amazing.
But I think we're getting a sense that you like being organised, you like a plan. You put it like whether it's taking the photographs or processing the photographs, you've thought about things. You put a workflow in place,
Yeah.
and you're
I'm very kind of I'm person that like workflows, statistics, Excel sheet, everything you can count, measure,
Yeah.
and improve.
Yes, yeah, no, it's true though. Yeah, and that's actually a really good point, the improved point, because we're all doing things all the time so often that you can easily just get into, well, this works, so we'll just keep doing this, and you should because it works.
Yeah, of course.
But there's nothing wrong with getting better and better and
Better.
better at what you do. And there's some days you go out and somebody might ask me to do something, and I'm kind of going, I've never done this before, so I don't know how it's going to work. I hope it will. I will help you out. And then you come away and go, that worked brilliantly. We're going to do it that way from now on. And you have to kind of try something new sometimes, don't you, to improve on things and to kind of learn. And I think I love learning different things as you go along, because otherwise it just gets stagnant, doesn't it? That's kind of everything that I wanted to cover with you guys today. And I must say thank you so much for coming in, because I know that you
Thank
were
you
a
so
bit
much
nervous
for
about the
having us.
camera. And
Thank you for the invitation.
and it's lovely actually to chat to you and everybody to actually get to know you now in person, as well as the people behind the beautiful photographs, the beautiful
Yeah.
nighttime shots. Yeah,
definitely.
love it.
But I think it's obvious that you're people persons and
Yeah.
you enjoy weddings. I think
Yeah.
you like doing
You
weddings.
have to, like,
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to love it,
Yeah. We said the
yeah.
minute we stop loving it, we'll stop doing it, because it's not fair on the people. It's
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
It's such
Yeah.
a big day for people. It's so important.
Yeah, big time.
But thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Thank you for invitation.
Thank you.